I think it would be best if everyone just tried to hold their mics as still as possible for the duration of this episode.
Is that targeted?
We did get Eve a mic stand, and Eve has spent the past...
Well, you didn't get me a mic stand. I had a mic stand.
Why did you have a mic stand?
For music thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, Eve, we
As if it would
noticed.
be
Shove it up
suspicious
my
that-
rump.
Guys.
Oh, are you pegging yourself with that mic stand?
We can't start like that. We
Please,
can't
I
start
hope that
like
gets
that.
us a spike in viewership. She's pegging herself with
Is that
it.
the crowd we're going for?
No, it's not. If you liked that, get out.
If you like that, this is not for you.
This is not the podcast
That's the
for you.
last time we'll be talking of that content.
Yeah, we're a good, clean podcast.
We are the good, clean,
Give
young,
or
old
take 40
podcast.
minutes straight of poopy talk and app.
But poopy's not inherently unclean.
No, it's just poop.
I think it's pretty inherently unclean. I think in fact, I can't think of a clean version of poopy.
And on that note, welcome back.
Two sisters talk about dumb shit. We hope you like it. 'Cause if not, then we'll kill ourselves and the blood will be on your hands. Young old.
How is everyone? We went to the
That would be a
museum
great- that-
yesterday.
Yeah,
Or
sorry.
is that where you want me to put
Well,
the
that would
theme
just be a
song?
great place, the theme song.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. So we went to the LA.
Wait, sorry.
What?
I feel like we've been, sorry, never mind.
No, go ahead, Chubs.
No, I was going to say, we went to the museum yesterday.
Two sisters. Is that
Talking
what you're...
about
Well,
dumb
yeah, I was just
shit.
picturing that, but yeah. Anyway, so
Okay,
go back.
okay.
Start from we went to the museum.
We went to the museum and we were on our way to buy tickets. And suddenly this lady approaches us and is like, "Oh, have you guys bought tickets yet?" And we're like, "No." And she's like, "Oh, well, here's two." And then hands us two ticket stickers.
That says LACMA member. We went to LACMA. And so we assume we've lucked out. There's four
Yeah.
of us. We already have two tickets.
We're like, "Oh, half off.
Smooth sailing. Think
Nice.
life is good,
Life's
right?
good.
But we only have two tickets. We need to buy two more tickets. So we go now. Robert and I put on the little LACMA member stickers
Yeah.
onto our shirts, respectively. And we walk to the ticket booth. And I, because I'm the oldest sister and I'm large and in charge,
Of course.
Of course.
She's large and in charge.
I walk right up to the ticket booth and I say, "I would like two tickets, please." And immediately, because I'm wearing this member sticker, she starts peppering me with questions about like what kind of member I am.
Well, first she goes, "Oh, you guys are members," and she kind of gestures at our sticker, and at that point we have to be like, "Yes."
Yes, because we can't like
We thought
can't
if we came
snitch on the lady who
clean-
just gave us her free member ticket.
Also, because like, what if you were like, "Oh, a random lady gave us to them," and they're like, "Oh, well, then you can't. You're not a real member.
We were
You
basically
can't
worried
use
that
those."
our free tickets would be invalidated if we
Revoked.
copped to the fact that we weren't actually members.
So we thought by saying yes, we're members, we eliminated the need for follow-up questions. Boy, were we wrong. Because then she goes, "Oh, great. What's your email?" And then we start to panic.
Yeah, then we started really panic, and now I'm like
And she's
acting.
like, "Well, what kind of membership is it? Is it this level membership? Is it this level membership? Why can't you just give me your email? What's your phone number? Don't you know the LA Museum member handshake?"
Where were you in the photo for our members' Christmas
And she's
party?
pulling up the Christmas party
She's
photo.
pulling up the Christmas party photo.
She's like starting to do the handshake. I don't even know where to put my hands in relation to hers because I'm not a member. And I'm just like I'm getting really worried that I'm going to get in some sort of trouble. So I kind of go, "I don't know." And I kind of just like wander off. I'm kind of like, I can't.
And then
Robert has already
To
wandered
be so
off, by
clear,
the way.
when she goes,
Like,
as soon as she goes, "Oh, great, you're members. What's your email?" I'm gone. I walk away.
Robert's gone.
I walk away.
I'm now like, "Wah!" I try my hand at the handshake, but it's not working out. So I dip too.
leaving
And
me
I
with the
leave-
ticket
I
lady.
leave Eve and,
I'm like,
our brother, the
I'm
ticket
like,
lady.
We'll just take the normal, unmember, non-discounted regular tickets. And she's like, "Okay, I was just trying to help you get cheaper tickets."
But clearly she thought that I was being like a bitch or something.
And
I
also, she was
just
she
didn't
was
want to
like,
answer
"All
her
right,
questions.
I was just trying to help you, just
And
trying
I
to
know,
help you
and
save
so,
money."
ma'am. If you're watching this,
We
I'm
lied.
sorry.
We were
lied,
liars.
and
And also, we were like, that lady was so kind to give us those tickets. Little
No.
did we know she was setting us up.
For all we know, that lady, after giving us the tickets,
was
was hiding behind a
cackling.
bush like, "These idiots.
These
They don't even know the
idiots."
handshake."
I mean, maybe we were on an episode of What Would You Do?
Okay.
But what would you do if a
a
lady came up
gave
and
you
said,
member
"Here's two free tickets"? Everyone would take the free tickets. I just didn't know that would, set up the Inquisition.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Well, when she gave you the tickets, she should have at least taught you the member handshake.
That
Yeah.
would have been nice. Or at least, showed me how to Photoshop myself into the Christmas party photo.
She should have at
Yeah.
least given us a gun so we could shoot ourselves in the head
Just
as
cut
soon
to
as it
the
started to go
chase.
south.
Yeah, where's my firearm, ma'am?
It is nice to know, though, that when you find yourself in an uncomfortable situation, situation, apparently my instinct is to just wander away as quickly as possible.
Yeah, both of you really just kind of left the situation.
Robert left first.
I jump ship immediately.
Which does not bode well for your like reliability as a father and partner.
Well,
Probably not.
Not to mention there was a garden called the Robert and Kelly Day Garden.
Yeah, and we were like, who the frick is Kelly?
We were like, who is this woman you have a garden with?
Yeah. And I was like, well, this day it went from bad to worse. First, an old lady gives us a sticker that invites a lot of questions. Then they find out about my garden with Kelly.
Not his garden with Kelly.
Not his garden with Kelly.
Anyway, it was overall.
But hey, luckily afterwards we got to go to a very boring museum. We thought, wow, this is a tough start, but hey, at least it had a very long and boring ending.
I could tell that you guys were not appreciative.
Well, my
of
whole
the
thing is
art.
that it's like every time you burst out laughing, which Robert and I were bursting out laughing at every single painting
because
we
I
looked
said
at.
most of the museum is pointing at stuff and going, "That's me," or going, "That's you," or going, "That's us."
Yeah.
Or like I really got a kick out of there was a modern art piece that was a dirty chair and bucket, and it was obviously supposed to evoke like an illegal abortion before abortions were legal.
Well, the title of the piece was called "The Illegal Operation."
Yeah, it was called the illegal operation, just alluding to abortion. And I pointed at it to Eve and I said, that's supposed to be depicting an illegal abortion. And Eve said, that's exactly what mine looked like. And I'm a comedian. I burst out laughing and I snorted. And it echoed through the entire gallery. And everyone like looked at me.
They don't want
But
laughter.
but to me, I'm like, if you're not laughing, what are you getting?
You're not
from
really
this?
appreciating
You're not-
the art.
That's not
I
appreciation.
think museums need to do a pivot and make it so actually this is a yap environment.
Yes.
How museums can
agree.
gain a modern audience is knock this quiet shit off.
Knock the quiet shit off.
Normalize yapping in the museum because that's
Amen.
what makes the museum any level of engaging.
Yeah. Also, it's like, how do I figure out how I feel about these paintings if I can't have a discussion, a lively discussion about them with the people who are attending the museum with me?
Also, I swear to God, when people are like very quietly looking at a painting and they're going like, I'm like, you're not thinking, you're bored.
No, you're
You're bored.
I'm getting more from this than you are inherently, just based on the fact that I'm formulating a take on the painting.
Yeah, and the take is that's me as fuck.
And the take is
But
that's me as
valid.
fuck. But that's valid.
and that's so valid.
It's
Yeah.
interesting you thought that the illegal operation was referencing abortion. I thought it was leg lengthening surgery.
Well, everybody see it's in the eye of the beholder.
And this is what we could have
but
yapped
also
about.
if you read the description, it's sad that it was alluding to illegal abortion.
Did it really?
Yes.
I could have sworn it said
No,
leg
but
lengthening
No, wait.
surgery.
So why are you being like this?
Because this is how I enjoy the museum. This is how I have fun in the museum.
We're not at the museum anymore. Shut the fuck up.
when you look at the piece, you see your own illegal
experience.
operation.
And
All
Robert
the
had
work
the
I've
leg
done.
lengthening
He saw
operation.
his leg lengthening operation.
I saw my genius surgery.
You saw your genius surgery.
Zac Efron saw his jaw surgery. I mean,
saw
Zac
his
Efron
jaw.
saw nothing because
didn't
that's
see
just an
anything.
Zach
accident.
saw him falling down the stairs.
Thought he hit a coffee table and it's just an accident and that's okay.
But yeah, art is
I
a
love Zac
mirror,
Efron.
baby.
Oh, yeah, but
And
basically-
let's talk about what we're seeing.
Dana and Robert love to like see how fast they can walk through each room at the museum.
Here's the thing.
They're
There's
like,
always
"How do I
another
get out of
fucking
here
room.
as fast as possible?"
Yeah.
And they'd be sprinting.
Here's also my take
Sprinted
truly.
through each
So
room.
LACMA has an emphasis on modern art. And my real take is that a lot of modern artists are lazy.
You're
I mean,
lazy.
this
When
is
you
like an ice
compare-
cold take, I must say.
I
But
know,
it's true.
but it's true. I'm just saying, like,
People
I agree with
famously
that.
think that modern art is stupid.
If you look at like a Renaissance painting, though, whether or not you're bored by it, you can be like, wow, you worked really hard on this. I swear to there's no way some of these drawings of like Campbell's chicken noodle soup cans, this was not as hard for you as it was to do some of these
That
other
being
paintings.
said, I do think when I look at a lot of modern art, I think, wow, this artist is a great marketer.
Yeah.
And I think that modern art is truly a fabulous display in marketing.
and it's a,
and
and look,
selling of the self
and it's a
and
fantastic
brand.
tax shelter.
Yeah.
and
I
I,
was
think
gonna
that's
say
really
it's,
what
it's
it is.
famously a lot of money laundering.
It's interesting because every like so many art pieces have like a little plaque that says this was purchased from funds from Donna and Ray McDonald, and I'm like, oh, Donna and Ray McDonald are cheating on their taxes,
Right.
And actually, I'm looking at the evidence, and it doesn't matter.
Isn't it crazy that Jackson Pollock was one of the great financial criminals of our generation?
Yeah,
I love that for him.
And I love that. I mean, I love that. I
That's
think that's
amazing.
fantastic.
That's awesome.
But also, it's so funny because when I was a kid, I would go to the museum and I would be bored as shit. And I would think, on some level, I would think, well, it's just because I'm a lively kid and I'm not an adult. And then I went back as an adult and I'm like, what do you know it? I had it right the first time. This shit's boring as fuck.
And then also there was like a digital art section, and wouldn't you know it, Robert Robert was entranced by the TVs playing movie clips.
Because the TV would show like, CG art and it's, the robot from Terminator 2. And
Robert's
that's
like,
when I'm like,
Robert's eyes like go into those little swirls and they're like, TV.
I'm like, in many ways, this is about an illegal abortion. Me about a scene from T2 Judgment Day.
But it's also just funny because, okay, so I got an iPad a couple years ago and I would do drawing in like one of the Illustrator apps.
Our mom gave us iPads.
Our mom gave us iPads.
You didn't earn that iPad. You didn't go to the mine to earn your
Biter,
iPad.
I'm on like my third Apple Pencil because Biter would chew them up. And I'm like, these are the most expensive dog sticks that he chewed up in existence.
But he's not interested in normal toys.
Well, he wouldn't
wouldn't
care
be
if you had
interested
a
in
normal
chewing on a normal
pencil.
pencil. He would chew on only an Apple Pencil.
Yeah.
Like the true.
Ridiculous.
He's got a taste for Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
He does.
Anyway, what I was saying was I have like an art style. It's really bad, but like all the modern art really sincerely reminded me of my art style. Derogatory.
Yeah. Dana's art style was in one of her many, journeys to the brink. She spent a couple weeks just on an iPad.
I don't like that
on
you.
an iPad drawing in like the Paint app for hours, and then she would show you like a picture of like multicolored circles and be like, "Look, it's my art style."
And
Okay,
then Robert
I
would
just
be
wanna-
like, wait.
And I'd be like, "That's awesome."
Okay, I would like to just say that I take a lot of issue with you constantly referring to me being on the brink. Because what is
Wait.
life if not always being on the
Also,
brink?
okay, what if it's like Journey to the Center of the Earth, but it's Dana and his Journey to the Center of the Brink?
The center of the brink.
What's wrong with the brink?
Well, you're what's wrong with the
What's
brink?
living life on edge?
Yeah.
I like how quickly you went from I wasn't on the brink to what's wrong with the brink?
What's wrong with the brink?
Because I realized I was going to be like, I'm not on the brink, but then I realized, yes, I am, and so what?
And what
Yeah,
is
my
so
take,
wrong
yes,
with
you're
it?
on the brink, and so what?
But you always say it derogatory. Like, but if I'm always there, you can't always be like, that's bad. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't say that's bad. I just observed it for what it is. You would show me something, a drawing it took you 8 hours to do on your iPad of red circles, blue circles, green circles, and you would say, I'm developing an art style. And I would go, great. And then I was like, well, at least that's as weird as she'll get. At least that's as close to the brink as she'll get. And then Dr. P came. And I said, well, there you go.
Do you think Dr. P was worse than my art style? I would say it was
I would say Dr. P is
a
actually
more sophisticated execution of being on the brink.
Yeah. Now, you see, this is what the type of shit that needs to be at the museum. We need Dr. P TikToks. We need art style.
I agree.
And we need to be able to yap and compare and contrast.
I did want to do a big gallery exhibition of all my Dr. P poems at some point,
And she will.
where I
And
do
she will.
projected holograms.
And it's going to be a pop-up at the LACMA.
And
Yes.
I will have an aneurysm. And
Well,
that's
you're
what we'll
gonna
have
have
to-
your own. You're gonna have your own exhibit with your
Wait,
what
what?
TikToks.
Yeah.
That's true. Well,
Yeah.
I am walking around being like, do these motherfuckers know that TikTok exists? What are
So
we doing?
real.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah.
And amen.
I straight up don't believe people are really interested. I think everyone's performing.
This is really what I've started to realize is most people are freaking pretending. For the longest time, I was like, wait, are people just like into things that are boring as fuck? And I'm like, no, people are into pretending. They're into things that are boring as fuck.
Yeah.
Stop it. Quit it. Knock it off. You're weird.
I know you guys hate when I do this, but
Yeah.
I like it. I liked it. I liked it.
Okay, tell us your favorite piece that you saw.
The one I
She's
took a
gonna tell
photo
us.
of the Paris one.
She is going to tell us. She liked it. She's going to say she liked it.
I genuinely believe your art is better than anything that you saw.
Okay, but I still liked it. The Paris map one, that was my favorite.
Oh my god.
This is
You know
also-
what I saw today was a take that was about how people who look at snark subreddits are women incels.
Yeah.
Well, Eve owns that.
Yeah.
The thing about Eve is you can't really criticize her because she'll just be like, yeah.
But then I also was telling Robert, I watched a YouTube video where they were like, when did it become cool to be a frickin' loser? And then they described you. They were like, someone who like sits
And he's like,
sits there,
yeah.
And like, when did it
Yeah.
become cool to own it? Like, when did being like, yeah, when someone
Yeah.
calls you a loser become like so accepted
Yeah.
and actually revered and glamorized and glorified? When
Yeah.
did that happen?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
And the response is yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember when we spent what felt like an hour saying the museum sucks and nobody likes the museum, and Eve's like, I like the museum, and then we were disarmed instantly.
Well, they do this for like a lot of things. Like they'll be trash talking movies or shows or whatever, and then I'll just come in with I like it. I liked it.
But more often than not, I will say, Eve she doesn't even mean it when she says it. She just doesn't want to give it up. Like yesterday, we saw a billboard for that movie Novocaine, which was kind of fun. Which was kind of fun. But we saw the billboard and I went, oh, that's a fun idea. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it didn't actually look like the type of thing I would want to go see in theaters, though. That's what I said. No shame to Novocaine.
No shame to
And then
Novocaine.
Eve went, I don't know. I think I might see it. Here's what I know. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. She will not.
She won't.
Eve will never in 1,000 years go to see it. She won't. She
But
just
now
won't.
I have to. Okay, wait. Does it count if I watched it at home, or do I
No,
have to?
No,
actually
you have to go
because that's
in
what I said. I
theaters.
said
Yeah.
I won't see it in theater. There's no way you'll go.
I'll watch it at home.
That's
That
not what we were
doesn't
saying.
count. Doesn't count.
We were also like, we were talking about a specific singer, and I was like, oh, I feel like there
Are you too afraid to
I'm not
say
gonna name.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name. But guess
No.
what? You at home will probably be able to guess which one I'm talking about. I go, this singer. I'm like, man, this singer's more famous for kind of being a brand than their actual music is famous. Like I feel like everyone knows who they are, but nobody could name that many of their songs. And Eve said, I could name their songs. And I went, Eve,
I hate your
name 5
impression
songs.
of me.
Name 5 songs. And she got 2.
Well, you do weaponized
Yeah.
baby all the time.
Rewind the tape to when she said she liked museum. 'Cause
liked it.
She didn't say, I actually liked the museum. She went,
I liked it. I liked it. That's you.
Anyway, obviously she couldn't name 5 of the songs, and she
Couldn't name 5 songs.
couldn't name 5 songs.
And then I said, I don't like this game.
well, the game's going to go on one more beat because I don't know. I don't think we actually talked about this on the podcast.
no.
Right down this like lane or whatever. We're Trisha Paytas fans. We consume her content.
no.
And Dana asked, wow, I wonder why Raising Cane's doesn't sponsor Trisha Paytas because Trisha Paytas eats at Raising Cane's a lot. And I said, this is what I said. I said, well, I feel like it's because even though she eats at Raising Cane's, her audience and people who like consume her content, they don't really eat at Raising Cane's. And Eve said, I've been thinking about maybe trying it.
I've been thinking about maybe trying it.
So you don't eat
So you
Raising
don't eat
Cane's.
it. So you
You've
don't
never
eat
eaten
it.
it. I've been thinking about maybe trying. By the way, this happened, I want to say, a month or 2 ago. Eve, have you been to Raising Cane's in the last 2 months?
I go every day.
You do not go
I eat
every
there
day.
for every meal.
And you watch the trailer for Novocaine on your phone.
Every day. And I listen to that artist's music.
Yeah,
And I
that-
sit there naming their songs.
All 2 of them.
Anyway,
and I'm stuffing my face with chicken.
to me, that is the definition of fake positivity.
Yeah.
And not being a hater just to not be a hater.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I'm reading Loser Snark.
Exactly. So like, what
Well,
even?
Eve has no problem being a hater, but she refuses to allow anyone around her to be a hater.
I'm just a contrarian.
That is unfortunately so true.
And so am I.
No.
Yeah.
No.
2 contrarians in a room.
I like being a contrarian. I like being contrary. Eve will be like, I like the museum. And then I put 1 extra ice cube in, and she's like, what are you doing? Kill yourself. But when Eve is like, I maybe will try to eat Raising Cane's. I have a question about the toaster. Fool!
Yeah.
Those are, by the way, that right there, you saw those are my 2 impressions of Eve. And there's actually nothing in the middle.
Yeah, it's either like baby or monster.
baby or a monster.
Yeah.
Got 2 moods.
Did you guys see the Meghan Markle clip of her doing her cooking show on Netflix with Mindy Kaling?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And Mindy
existed.
refers to her as Meghan Markle, and she immediately corrects her, I'm a Sussex
Well,
now.
Mindy gives her a unique opportunity to seem relatable and like be like Mindy's basically like, haha, I bet no one knows Meghan Markle likes Jack in the Box, and Meghan Markle goes, actually, it's Sussex, not Markle.
I'm like, first of all, if it is, then how come it's not Meghan Sussex's cooking show on Netflix?
Right.
How come it's
Right.
Meghan? You're going by Meghan
Yeah.
Markle.
She's like, everyone forgets I'm actually royal now, and
And it's
no,
like, I think you're forgetting you're actually hosting a cooking show.
yeah, you're hosting
now.
a freaking cooking show. But it's just like interesting to see like Mindy try to give her an opportunity to be like funny, relatable, and her to be like, how dare you try to make me relatable to my audience? And people do not like the cooking show at all.
I gotta
I
be
didn't
honest.
even know it existed. How long
Yeah,
has it
because
been
it's
going
not,
on?
it's
It
not
just
popular or
happened.
successful because nothing that she does is no offense to her.
Well, it's this weird thing where I don't understand why Meghan Markle keeps getting shoved down our throats. And it's not because I don't like Meghan Markle. The thing that's confusing to me is that I thought I did like Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
Because like when Meghan Markle came out and was like, the British royal family is racist, I was like, hell yeah, I bet it is racist. And then she's like, oh, so you agree? I should be paid $50 million to host a podcast that never comes out. And I'm like, wait. I didn't know that was what I was agreeing to.
Like basically, since she quote unquote like left the royal family, she just gets like multi-million-dollar opportunities to host media projects that nobody cares about. And then when they come out and bomb, it's insinuated that like we're unsupportive of her plight.
Well, she'll be like, the British paparazzi are evil vultures. And I'm like, I bet they are. Thank you for telling me. And she's like, oh, so you agree? I should be paid $80 million to narrate a nature documentary that no one will see. And I'm like,
And
wait,
like she got
what?
you there.
I'm like, yeah, I guess checkmate.
I guess checkmate.
I liked her in Suits.
Everybody liked her in Suits.
we all liked her in Suits.
But okay, speaking of narrating,
I mean, Prince
nature
Harry liked her in
documentary-
Suits. That's why.
That's another thing. And again, I'm not even saying this is a hater, but like, if you quit, I thought the whole thing was they left the royal family. Why do
Yeah.
they still get to be Prince and Sussex?
It does seem like crazy that you just get to keep your titles
If I
you
quit,
dip.
if I quit my job at a company, I don't get to
Right.
keep my title at that
Also,
company.
what is the British royal family if not a company?
Yeah.
It is a company. It's a business. It's
It's
an
a very
institution.
weird
A
company.
really odd company, but it is a company.
Okay.
Eve's like,
Eve doesn't
I
care.
like the British royal family.
I like the British. No, I don't. I literally don't care about the British
bend
royal
the
family
knee
at
to
all.
the king.
Like whenever people were like the royal wedding, I was like, are we in America?
That's kind of my thing too. I'm like,
Amen.
why do we care?
What?
Well, America's filled with Anglophiles,
Yeah.
famously.
That's
Like people who like
true.
love Britain. I
Yeah.
mean, we all love to do a little accent from time to time.
Yeah, but I think the accent feels like it's more critical of Great Britain than anything. Let's hear your British accent.
Well, we always do like,
Hello, governor.
Like
it's
Cockney.
more, yeah, it's more Oliver.
Yeah.
It's more,
Yeah.
may I have some more, sir?
we're never doing like
It's more,
posh.
let me pick your pockets.
Prince Harry gets home. He's like, "Oi, Muggin! Netflix wants to give you another £1 million to make a cooking show.
£1 million. Where gotta get my quid up?
Gotta get my
Gotta
quid
get my
up.
quid
Get
up."
me quid up.
That being
Gotta
said,
get me
speaking
quit
of
up.
podcasts, I do think that Meghan Sussex is making the British royal family jealous because it was just announced that King Charles is hosting a podcast about music. And no, I'm not making that up.
That's crazy.
But it's also, dude,
Wait
it's gonna
for
be.
a second.
Wait,
when you said that, I was thinking of like the really old guy.
He is the really old guy. You're correct to be thinking of the really old guy.
Wait, the one who looks like he's like.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's not like there's like a young,
No,
cool
wait.
king. England doesn't have a young, cool
wait,
king.
that's the one with the fat fingies.
Yeah, the one with the fat fingies. And he's using those fat fingies to press on his iPad and play Charlie XCX.
But then who's the other one?
William.
The one.
The bald one's William. The one who used to be hot.
Hold on.
Hold up.
Hold up. But King Charles has just announced that he's hosting a music podcast. Young old crossover.
Dude, we'll have you on, King Charles.
I also have fat
You can cuddle up
fingies.
with Eve. Share the mic with her.
I'll have McG. I'll have McG on my lap. You'll have King Charles.
We're all McG.
I was thinking
Eve will have
of
King
Prince
Charles.
Philip.
Is he another old one?
Yeah, he's one of the real. I also know King Charles is the fat fingy one.
Yeah, he's got the fat fingies, but he's also got his music podcast. But also, he's gonna do the thing that like Obama will do. Well,
Yeah.
his podcast will just be promoting whatever music is popular. But it would be great if it was like the real music
I
of
thought
King
this
Charles.
guy was giving takes.
I mean, it's
It's
close.
basically the same.
I want to hear like King Charles's real music taste, where he's just like talking about like lullabies from the 20s that his inbred aunt would kind of whisper to him in states of delirium.
Dude, I miss those kind of like lullabies. Those went hard. Do you think millennial parents do like rockabye baby, don't say a word to their kids?
No, dude, I don't even think we have modern lullabies. I actually think millennial parents are just gonna like get in their kids' faces and be like, "You're demanding emotional labor from me to help you fall asleep.
And I don't have the bandwidth.
I don't have the bandwidth.
I don't have the
Hey,
bandwidth to
that
read a
right
story
now.
to you right now."
Hey, you need to ask mommy first if she has the bandwidth
Yeah.
to read you a
Remember that
story.
text during COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like, are you in an emotional space to be, or hey, I'm not in an emotional space to
Yeah.
No, yeah, I
You're
remember
correct.
the text. It was crazy.
It's a paragraph. It's like, I'm not in the emotional space to be receiving this information right now.
I've seen a lot of takes recently too that are basically talking about like the death of friendship and how the death of friendship has been caused by people quote unquote like having too many boundaries in that way.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Where
the you
people
don't owe
want-
anyone anything
Right.
epidemic.
Yeah.
But it's like people feel entitled to community without inconvenience, but inherently like having community implies that you're gonna be inconvenienced.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait. Speaking of
What?
entitlement, should we talk about?
Okay. Well, we can't name
No,
him.
you can't
Fine.
name him.
Okay, so let's.
He's like, speaking of entitlement, should we talk about the person whose social security number is blah, 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 blah?
Okay, so let's.
Should we talk
rename
about-
Can we give
the person
give him the code name?
Yes, let's name him.
Gargathon.
Okay.
Gargathon.
Okay,
The
great.
code name is Gargathon.
That's
So
the code name.
Gargathon is the new owner of a house near ours, and
And they're
Gargathon.
the landlord. They don't live there.
They don't live
so there's
there.
tenants.
Gargathon doesn't live there.
Gargathon-
Gargathon has tenants.
Right.
Gargathon is a landlord. And Gargathon recently, the house that Gargathon owns, they need to redo the sewers.
They have to
And
do some plumbing
allegedly,
work.
the house that we live in,
Allegedly.
the house that we live in shares a sewer line with Gargathon's property.
According to
seems-
Gargathon, by the way. We're taking Gargathon's
real
word on
silly.
this.
Just take Gargathon's word on this. And Gargathon asked over the course of a week, can we not use our water for a couple hours one of the days that they'll be working on the sewer?
And we said yes,
And
'cause we
said
wanna be good
'cause we
neighbors
wanna
to
be good
Gargathon.
neighbors, and it's a couple hours,
It's a
right?
couple hours.
couple
He said a couple hours.
And meanwhile, the day that this is going to happen keeps moving. So we don't have very much notice as to when we're not
But
going to
then,
be able
like
to use
the
our
day
water.
before, Gargathon sends a text, and the text goes, "Do not use the water from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m."
Which is not a couple hours. That's a window of 5 hours, first of all. Second of all, what 8:30 to 1 with 1 day notice? What if I had a job interview, Gargathon, and I needed to take a shower?
Maybe Gargathon is a young alternator, knows we have nothing going on.
Yeah.
And you know what, Gargathon, if you know for a fact we have nothing going on, we can talk.
Well, here's
but
the
you
deal.
don't know that,
If
Gargathon.
Gargathon
I
knew
could
we
be
have nothing
busy.
going on, we'd simply have to kind of accept that. But we know that Gargathon does it. For all Gargathon knows, we're all titans of industry who need to take a cold shower first thing in the morning.
Yeah, well, like, first thing in the morning is 8:30. We're already not Titans.
Yeah.
The Titans are up at 5.
Well, at the end of our day, which is 8:30.
At the end of our day. And 1 p.m. is the start of our next day.
right.
Right.
Doesn't Gargathon know that? Anyway, Gargathon basically creates this bizarre window in which we cannot flush our toilets or use our water. Insane.
Also very matter of fact
Very
about
matter
it.
of
It's
fact,
yeah,
like,
don't do this.
that. And we again are trying to be a good neighbor, so we're like, okay. And Eve is weirdly cool about it
Yeah, for
in the
some
group
reason,
text.
Eve
like,
actually is
Eve
underreacting.
is
Dana and I are kind of like,
so
what's
Robert and I are,
Gargathon's
like, kind of
deal?
pissed at
Usually a
Gargathon,
huge
and Eve's usually a
bitch.
huge bitch about all things related
About
to this.
anything.
And so when Eve comes home, we're like, hey, did you see that crazy request Gargathon made? And Eve was basically like, oh, I thought Gargathon was a handyman who was doing work on our house and our sewer
Eve
lines.
didn't realize it was actually for a
I thought it
neighboring
was
house.
for our house, and I mean it's still annoying to not have water, but like if it's for your own house, you're like, okay, well, it
Anyway,
is what it is.
once Eve
but if
finds
it's
out-
for a random, I'm like, well, because also this is like through via our mom, like being like, oh, this guy's gonna do, and I'm like, why didn't you just tell him to f off?
So our mom didn't tell Gargathon to F off.
Because if it was me talking to Gargathon and he goes, hey, will you turn? I go, no.
It's also like, look, man,
No.
a couple hours, sure, but you're actually
See, and then
going
that's where you
above
guys are
and
like,
beyond.
You guys are like a couple
a
hours,
normal
sure.
ask.
And for me, I'd be like, no.
But regardless,
No.
we were talking about what is Gargathon going to be offering
Right,
us
so
Well,
in
Gargathon should be able to
for
like
all
at
of
least
this.
give us all chamber pots like medieval times, and Gargathon himself should come and empty our chamber pots first thing in the morning.
Because when you're
Yeah.
asking somebody not to use their water, you're asking them not to shower, you're asking them not to go to the bathroom.
Bro, we've never asked Gargathon to hold in his shit.
Right.
No,
so we're like,
ever.
Gargathon's literally saying,
crazy.
suck it up.
It's
He's
crazy
saying,
that
clench
Hold
your
it in.
butt
it's
muscles
telling
and wait
us to
till one
clench
to
our
shit.
booties.
Yeah.
That's
Gargathon told us to clench our booties.
He
He
said
said to
clench
clench our
up.
booties.
He said
He said
clench up.
And we're like, so what are we supposed to do? Like, are we supposed to show up at his house? Because he's not like offering to book us a
So
room.
I look up, I
He's-
find Gargathon's address, and we immediately start planning
Yeah.
our shit danger.
Our shit
where we
digger.
go to his house to poop, to shower, to
do our
do our
laundry.
laundry, anything that requires water that he's forcing us to turn off,
Yeah.
right?
And so from 8:30 to 1, obviously, we showed up at Gargathon.
And we were like, okay, we got a pregame. We got a pregame with coffee
and
with
beans and chorizo.
We got to make this the worst possible
Whole
experience
milk.
for Gargathon because of what he's asking
we
of
were
us.
all drinking half and half and eating ground beef.
Right. And then
And
also,
whole wheat.
Yeah, so we
My-
can really take advantage of Gargathon's
Right.
water.
Yeah.
And my mom said that he is actually a landlord of like multiple properties. So for all we know, he's asking lots of people.
We
to
show up
clench
and
their
his lawn is
booties.
covered in people shitting on his lawn,
Yeah.
and they're like, Gargathon.
Gargathon,
They're like,
you're here for
Gargathon.
Gargathon.
But if you or someone you know has been affected by Gargathon, please
Reach
reach
out
out
to
to the
us.
Young Old Podcast.
We can all show up at their house together
And shit together as
and
one.
have a little party.
And we can
have a
shit
whole
together.
party.
But Eve was like, what would Gargathon do if we showed up at 8:30 and we're like, hey, we need to use your bathroom? Like, what could he do? Because he did tell us not to use our
Yes.
water. Would it be outside?
This, by the way, is us representing ourselves in court.
Yeah.
After Gargathon takes us to court, we're representing ourselves, of course.
Would it be so crazy for us to roll up to Gargathon's and ask to use his restroom
Would
facilities?
it actually be
Would it
crazy to
actually
storm a stranger's
crazy?
house
I
to
don't-
shit?
Well, because you know what I think's crazier is asking a stranger to hold it for 5 hours.
5 hours is a long time.
Yeah,
I
to
think that's
clench up
more and a half.
for 5
crazier.
hours.
4.5 hours is a lot. When's the last time you've gone 4.5 hours without pissing or shitting?
Yeah.
But also the fact that he didn't offer any alternatives. Like he wasn't like, oh, okay, hold it for, or like you don't use your water for 5 hours, but feel free to come over.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't
If
offer
you
any
But that's what I
alternative.
mean. Like, to be like, oh, hold it for a couple hours. At the very least, you're asking something that you know to be kind of physically possible. Hold it for 4.5 hours. Just be stinky and backed up. Like, what are you
The
talking
other thing you're
about?
saying is about the job.
Oh,
like,
the job
what if we had a
interview.
job?
Yeah.
So what if Dana had a job
Yeah.
interview, right?
Yeah.
And she shows up and she's really
Unshowered,
stinky.
covered. She's holding in
Unshowered,
shit.
yeah.
She poops herself at the interview
Because she can't poop at home because Gargathon said don't poop
and then
or shower.
And then the job people, me not knowing what jobs are, the employers are like, oh, like we were gonna sign you on for 10 years. Like the job interview was really a formality, but you stank like horribly,
Yeah.
and you shit yourself. So like we're not gonna hire you.
So I lose out on this lucrative 10-year
10-year job
contract
opportunity.
because Gargathon
Said you can't shit
And
or
so-
shower.
and so that legally would mean, I think, that
Ladies and gentlemen of the
Gargathon
jury.
owes her 10-year salary.
So is it
Gargathon, you
really-
owe me 10-year salary.
Is
How
it
does that not make sense?
Is it even crazy to show up outside of Gargathon's house saying we're here to shit,
And we
we're here
need
to
10-year
shower, and we need a
salary.
contract for 10-year salary signed by you?
Is that so
Does that
crazy?
seem crazy?
And yet, to me, all of this is like so much less crazy than asking a stranger to
I
hold
think
it
it's
for
deeply
5
rational.
hours.
Genuinely, I think to me, I'm like, I would never ever ask someone to clench up for 5 hours.
For
Like
5
that's
hours.
insane.
Without providing a place of respite for them.
Also, I don't believe the whole sewer line thing. Like, okay, if our sewer lines are connected, unconnect them. Oh, boom, life hack.
Also, what do you mean? It's just us? Like, it's just us? Like, well, yeah, that does seem like well, I guess we gotta trust
I'm like,
Gargathon.
unconnect them.
I gotta
Unconnect them.
Also, what does that mean? We just go halvesies on everything? Everything involving now their shit is ours. Like, we're not, it's not, we don't have like communal poop and pee.
We don't have communal poop
Also,
and pee.
yeah, aren't all sewer lines connected? Here's the problem with this little rant. It's becoming very clear that Eve doesn't know how jobs work, and I don't know how the sewers work.
But I don't care. I'm like, unconnect them.
But to me, no one should have to know how anything works because when things actually work in a normal
you
way,
shouldn't have to know about it.
Yeah.
no, you understand it intuitively.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. I just got a text from Gargathon. He says, hey guys, can you do me a favor? Tomorrow, can you all shit into water balloons and then throw the shit-filled water balloons at each other?
He's controlling.
Well, we gotta
like,
be good neighbors, so...
Gargathon has gone too far this time.
Yeah.
I have to pee, speaking of. And
And you
Gargathon
can
can't
now.
stop me.
And Gargathon can't stop you. Anyways, so I had to pee at Starbucks that day, and I was like, I should send him a photo.
Yeah.
I should send him photos of me in the Starbucks bathroom. Be like, this is what you've
This
driven
is what
me to,
yeah.
Gargathon.
Who we've never met, by the way. Gargathon should just be receiving a slew of text messages of just strangers on various toilets around the city and be like, this is you. You did this.
Is that we were saying, like, obviously we're gonna go and stink up Gargathon's house.
Of course.
And,
Yeah.
and leave lots of poopy in the toilet, and then he's gonna be like, why did you even bother coming to poopy at my house
If you're not gonna flush.
if you were gonna flush?
Yeah. But that's also his take. He's like, oh, you can poop. You just can't flush.
He's like, just leave it.
Well, that also would be vengeance because, like, you can poop, you just can't flush. It's like, okay, so you just want us to live in like a stink den? Is that what you want,
But also, it's
Gargathon?
he should, if he's asking us to hold it for that long, he should have to hold it for that long.
He should prove it.
Like,
we should be on a live stream with
Yes,
each other
yes, we
so
should
we
be
can
on Zoom with
guarantee we're
him.
not pissing or showering or pooping.
We should be on Zoom with him the whole time, and he's not allowed to use any water on the whole time on
Well,
Zoom.
because this is something that, like, you know, like coaches always say to their team, where it's like, I'm not asking you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. It's like,
Right.
Gargathon, you can't ask us to do anything you wouldn't do yourself.
So you also
hold
have
in.
to not use the water for 5 hours.
You clench up
You clench up.
and prove it.
You don't shower.
You don't shower.
You don't wash clothes.
And then we see how normal it is.
And then what, Gargathon?
And what then?
Now would be a great time to have Dana's pee corner. That's
Oh yeah, Dana,
Our dream
for whatever
for the
reason,
podcast.
whenever we're yapping in life, in real life, Dana will get
because
up and
believe
pee.
it or not, we do it outside of this.
Yeah, and we don't even get paid for it.
And
Wait a minute, we don't even get paid for the podcast
What?
either. What the fuck are we doing this
What
for?
are we doing this for?
Cut the cameras. But whenever we yap in real life, Dana will get up to pee, but then she'll always feel really left out from what Eve and I are saying. So she'll just start shouting takes
Yeah.
from the toilet.
And then we'll just shout her takes, and then we'll respond, and then she'll go, "I can't hear you over my pee."
Yeah, and it's like, well, then why say anything? This is also why it's so cruel of Gargathon, because it's like, we're toilet folk.
That's so real.
We're yappers and we're toilet folk.
You can't ask poopy fiends not to poopy.
Yeah. Doesn't he know we should have responded to that? Don't you know we're poopy fiends and toilet folk?
I'm like, Gargathon, don't you know that I can't not shit all day forever?
Doesn't he
every
know?
second?
Yeah.
No, it is true that I like to yell out my takes while I'm peeing.
Right, but then a dream for the podcast would be the Dana
bathroom
giving her
mic.
takes from Dana's pee-pee corner.
We have a camera in there.
Yeah.
And we would, again, we might attract a whole new audience of real sick freaks. We just see it spikes during Dana's pee-pee corner.
If you're only watching for Dana's pee-pee corner, click off.
Instead of being scared, we learn all the wrong information, and then we just make the whole podcast pee-pee corners. Like, we're all in different bathrooms, live zooming with each other.
Dude, podcast but pee-pee could go off.
It could definitely get a lot of views.
Podcast
Go
about
off.
pee is pretty crazy.
And the brand potential would be amazing. So many people eager to work with us.
like who?
Charmin.
Charmin would work with us.
That's true. Squatty Potty.
Squatty potty.
What's a chili brand? I feel like the big chili brands, the big jambalaya brands, they would all be.
Jambalaya brands reach out.
Corn, Big Corn would love to work with us.
All right, do we want to move
Is
to
this
something
the grossest
more
podcast of
tasteful?
all time? I'm like, what are we talking about?
I don't know.
All your like
Honestly,
museums are boring. You want to know what's interesting?
I
It's about toilet folk.
start with museums are boring, and then go into Gargathon
be like, now
censoring
this
our
is
food.
entertainment.
Now you're talking.
Also, I'm a canceled podcast fan, and like they famously get a lot of hate for talking about poopy.
But to me, getting hate for talking about something means actually people want to hear more
Okay,
about
so
it.
I agree.
I literally
That is how
think
the internet works.
That's
The internet
how
will
the
be like,
internet
they don't
works.
want something I know they do.
But I also think I'm like, the true sign of love on the internet is discourse. If what I've said isn't discourseable to you,
Yeah.
then what I said you don't like, actually. Even if
Right.
you agree with me, agreement doesn't give you the same satisfaction as like vehemently disagreeing with me. So I'm actually doing you a service by presenting a take that you vehemently disagree with at home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
On God.
On God.
On God.
Preach.
We team Bryce out here.
On God.
Even the paparazzi
Even
team, Bryce.
Team
On
Bryce.
God.
Do we have topics?
I'm looking.
Dude, I've got some great TikTok ideas in here. A lot of what if your boss was Davy Jones? What if your roommate was Davy Jones? What if your coworker was Davy Jones? Dude, how am I not at a million?
Oh, Eve, do you want to talk about school and biology class?
Yeah,
and
sure.
the negativity of school and school's depressing agenda.
School does have a depressing agenda.
Well, someone asked, one of the comments in the last episode was, we need an episode to find out where Eve makes her money. And I'm like,
don't.
that'd be a short episode.
I don't.
That'd be a YouTube short. But anyway, Eve's a student. Go
Well,
go
yeah,
on.
I'm very close to receiving my associate's, a 2-year degree I've been working 5 years on.
Okay. Also, Robert and I were talking about how, okay, so on Survivor, there was a contestant who was lying about their profession. He was a surgeon, but he didn't want people to think he was too smart. So he said he was a physical therapist. And they immediately clocked his tea because they were like, wait, like his timeline doesn't add up. Like the way that he's told his life story, that means he would have been in school for
college
8
for physical
years
therapy for 8
which
years.
doesn't make any sense. He's like clearly a surgeon. And with Eve, we're like, it's just so funny because on Survivor, people think she was lying because her timeline doesn't work out because they're like, there's no way she spent that long getting her associate.
And Eve's like, no, I swear.
And yet. Continue.
But also, yeah, people lie about their professions on Survivor to make them seem less threatening. And we were saying, like, if we were on Survivor, we'd be poopy salesmen.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, I'm a lawyer, but I don't want people to say that because it'll put a target on my back. So I'll just be a poopy salesman.
And then I'm talking to my tribe. They're like, "What do you do for work?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I sell poop." And they're like, "Oh." And then it's their talking head, and they're like, "Originally I thought Robert might be a threat, but after finding out he just sells poop, I feel like I could make an alliance with him."
To me, I'm like, this is so much better than the museum.
You see, that's what I mean when you're like, "I liked it." I'm like, I know you like Poopy Salesman more than any painting you saw at the museum. I know you
Wait,
did.
that just gave me an idea for a painting, the Poopy Salesman.
If there was a
And it's
painting
like,
called
make
Poopy,
it, and it's like he's holding his briefcase and he's like knocking on the door, and it's like his briefcase has little stink lines.
You do
and, like,
draw it.
Draw it.
Paint
Okay.
it.
if there was a painting of Poopy
Actualize,
Salesman, you would have been staring at that painting longer than any other painting in that museum.
No,
I know
Poopy
you
Salesman
would.
have really impacted us emotionally, I think. Yeah.
Anyways, but then there's another world in which you think you are a poopy salesman, and you think that is really threatening, and you don't want people to know. So you make up something else, and you're like, I don't want them to know I'm a poopy salesman.
No, Poopy
It's gonna put a
Salesman.
target on my back.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm in insurance, and then it's like, so say I'm lying
Or
about
you're
being
like,
in
I'm a
insurance.
surgeon.
I'm a
I don't want them to know I'm a poopy salesman.
I'm a surgeon.
But we were just
And they're like, "Wait a minute, you were a surgeon, but you were in school for 20 years? Wait a minute, that's how long it takes to become a poopy salesman."
anyway.
Being a poopy salesman takes 20 years of school.
If you want to be good at it,
you have to take the PSATs.
the poopy SATs.
Dude,
Dude, I scored so high on my PSATs.
your PSATs. Did you know that the SATs can become the PSATs if you shit yourself during? Dude, I do think this is so funny, but it's just like the fact that we're doing this bit back to back with Gargathon. I'm like, dude, what are we doing to our viewers? They might like it.
Let us know, young alternators.
Well, another thing that gave the surgeon away was that he said he has to have really steady hands for his job.
yeah, and they were like, why would a physical therapist need steady hands?
And I was saying, what if you said something like, "Oh yeah, I have to have a really good nose for my job," and then they're like, "They're clearly a poopy salesman. Why would they need a good nose to be a surgeon?"
Anyway, so Eve's in school for her associates.
Yeah,
to be a
let's
poopy
just say
salesman.
Eve is
You're
in
like
school to be your
6.
associate.
So there's only 14 more years until I'm a certified poopy salesman.
And then look out. And then
And then I'll go on Survivor
Yeah.
and lie
and say she's a surgeon.
and say I'm a surgeon. And yeah. Okay. But
So that is Eve. That's the episode on how Eve makes money.
yeah.
She sells poopy in 20 years before going on Survivor. Go on.
No gatekeeping here.
No gatekeeping.
No
No
gatekeeping.
gatekeeping. Okay, so my last class that I'm taking is biology. And first of all, I roll up, and this school has I appreciate that a lot of the funding goes towards the arts because I'm an artist, and for majority of my classes that's a good thing. But right now that I'm in a science class, which I've
Speaking
never
of poopy, we had some
taken.
poop water right here.
Ew. Okay.
Sorry.
Bruh.
I thought what's something I could
that's
say that would
so
take it from
gross.
funny to just
Anyways,
so
the building
gross.
is so ratchet for science because it's a school for artists, which is great. But when you take a science class there, oh man.
Well, I toured Mizzou, University of Missouri, and it's just like in the middle of the state, and their athletic facilities are so nice. And when I went on a tour, even though I was never going to be an athlete, they led me on a tour of the athletic facilities first because that's the nicest area.
Right.
And there's like hot tubs and there's like waterfalls indoors. And then like you walk outside and someone just climbs out of a pile of rubble and you're like, "What's that?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's our math building." Anyway, and it's like,
Right.
geez. The
it's-
allocation of resources is never even.
It's the opposite of traditional media because in shows they're always like they're cutting the budget for the art department, but for this they're cutting the budget for the science department.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
No more physics. Get your pastels out.
Yeah.
Right. And so, anyways, when I walked in, I have my Stanley, obviously, and my teacher is like, "Oh, we actually can't have food or drink in the classrooms." And I'm like, "Water? What? That's not a drink. That's not a drink." And she's
So
like,
true.
"Yeah, unfortunately, because of the chemicals." And I'm like, "Girl, what? She thinks she's Madame Curie.
It's like,
girl,
pack it up, Miss Curie.
Pack it up. This is not Oppenheimer. My Stanley is not getting in the way of nothing." And then she goes, "But feel free to step out anytime that you need a drink." And I'm like, if I stepped out every time that I needed to take a sip of the Stanley. Like, I'd never be in this room.
She thought she was Enola Einstein.
No, she thought she was Enola Einstein.
But
And
just Enola Holmes on Netflix is
so the girl version of anything is
is
Enola blank.
So it's Enola Holmes as Millie Bobby Brown plays Sherlock Holmes' niece, who's actually way better at solving mysteries than
younger
him.
sister.
Really? Oh, that's right.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's way better at solving mysteries than him. And so now every woman version of anything is Enola.
So
Yeah.
Enola Einstein,
Or, like,
would be
Enola
when they
Hamilton.
do right, Enola
Alexander
Hamilton,
Hamilton's
Enola
way
Musk,
better
Enola
sister.
Jobs, Enola
Right.
Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We started lightly teasing Enola Holmes, and the camera cut out.
because it's a Millie Bobby Brown stan.
Yeah. Did you see her real middle name is Bonnie? She announced today
Millie
that
Bonnie Bobby Brown.
No, Millie Bonnie Brown.
Oh, but she changed it to Bobby.
I think she did.
Why?
Sounds better.
It
I don't know.
does.
Well, we're also talking about a decision she must have made when she was, what, 11? So, playing 11, but also when she was
Wait.
literally 12
What
12
if
years old or something?
following those consonant rules, my middle name would be Valibtiba.
Valibtiba? Right.
What do
And
we
that's
think
why
about
you
that?
haven't blown up.
Yeah.
Because I have
'Cause
yet
you're
to
not
change my middle name to
Valentiba.
Yeah.
Valibtiba.
Millie Bobby Brown got really mad at people recently because of the way they were like commenting on her appearance, and I do think it's valid, but I also think too I'm a little bit confused because I thought a lot of the people criticizing her appearance were criticizing her outfit.
I think so. I mean, it was basically she walked through London wearing this like leopard on leopard outfit.
Which is cool
Which
to
is
me.
cool.
I think that looks awesome.
I think she looked slay. But the headlines were
You
kind of
trying
like
not to be canceled.
Yeah. And I loved it.
And Robert thought
I learned about Sherlock Holmes after Enola.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know who Sherlock was
No.
before Enola.
Yeah.
Enola is
Well,
the first detective.
I believe two things though. I believe that yes, the media and people in general are way too comfortable commenting on like, women's bodies, especially people who are child stars and grew up. But I also believe that we have to live in a society where you can make fun of celebrities'
Celebrities.
Clothes
Yes,
specifically.
clothes specifically.
I'm like,
But also, I would-
should always be able to say a celebrity's outfit looks like shit. And
I would
think that's true.
truly argue. I'm like, if you can't. I literally think that we should be able to poke fun at celebrities. I think that I would love to be a celebrity. I would love to be poked fun at. That's all I'll say. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what you're there for. You're here
Yeah.
to kind of relieve tension in society and make us feel like even though you're the rich and famous one, actually we got something on you. We think your outfit is hideous.
And now there is a difference between, saying, oh, this outfit's kind of funny and saying, I'm going to come to your house and light myself on fire in front of you.
And obviously,
which
I
is
think
true.
fair distinction. But I
Fair.
think when we start acting like you said you didn't like my outfit is I'm coming to your house and lighting you on fire, that is where we go wrong.
Yeah. Well, Gracie Abrams got really mad about people asking her about her ab routine. And then she said, it's just crazy how people will comment on women's bodies. And I'm kind of like, I don't think that when they say don't comment on women's bodies, they're referring to that. Because also I feel like that's mostly other women being like, your abs look cool. What's your ab routine?
Yeah. I mean, I think in general, celebrities could be a little less sensitive. And I say that as someone who gets a lot of hate and I'm not even famous.
Lady Gaga has a song on her new album called Perfect Celebrity that's about just this.
Oh, really?
And is she saying that celebrities need to chill out? Or
Well, yeah, it's about like she is hated and that's what makes her a perfect celebrity. Not that she's not hated.
She's
But you
not
know what I
hated.
mean? Like she's saying being people talking shit is their purpose. Is celebrity.
Yeah, I literally think that's true.
I think foundationally that's true.
Yeah, I think they exist to make people feel okay about the fact that like life isn't fair. Like,
Yeah.
like it's like no, Billy Bobby Brown. Like you are better than all the journalists who are talking.
Hey, Billy Bobby Brown. Hey, Billy Bobby Brown. What's
Billy
the
Bobby
big deal?
Brown. Yeah. But I'm like, no, like the journalists who are talking shit about you, you are doing so much better than them.
Yeah.
So just like let them write their freaking article.
I will say, right after Millie Bobby Brown got mad at people for making fun of her outfit, she walked out wearing an even crazier outfit, and all the comments were like, "She looks amazing. I love the way she looks." I'm like, "This look, it did work. It was effective."
Yeah. And you know what? Do whatever you want. And I'm all for you doing whatever the frick you want.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Everyone, you do you. I'ma do me. God will judge us all.
Yeah, that's such like a weird way to end that. My take is God will judge us all.
That is my take.
But I agree that I would love to be a judged celebrity, and whenever I see celebrities complaining about being judged, I'm like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Not to be rude, but it's like you're paid all the money.
I'll do it, bro.
Yeah,
you don't want
that's
it.
what the money. That's why they give you so much money.
Yeah.
Because that's why like the Uggo writer, director, producers give you all the money because they're like, we don't want people making fun of our outfits.
Yeah, 'cause
we
they're-
look terrible.
We look freaking hideous.
Yeah.
The things that these journalists could say about actually ugly people, Millie Bobby Brown, would make you tremble.
Yeah.
Anyway. And
Oh,
all that
God.
being said, I love Millie Bobby Brown. She is a fellow flat earther, like me.
That rips.
Rock on.
Yeah. I believe the Earth is flat.
I think I'm a flat earther.
I think I'm what's it called?
What's it called?
Oh, a flat earther.
Dude, I literally like, was the Netflix onset tutor made of straw? Was it just a scarecrow they propped up in the corner of Stranger Things?
Literally,
and it's like,
yes.
yeah,
Literally,
go
yes.
sit near that
That's
for an
also
hour.
why I always like laugh whenever people are really enraged about celebrities' political opinions. Because I'm like, you guys realize these are all victims of onset tutoring, right?
Yeah.
Like you guys realize like these people had like maybe 3 hours of school once a week with like a tutor who actually just like wanted to be their best friend.
Yeah.
Like you understand that,
A
right?
tutor
like,
who was like, so what are you filming today?
yeah. So do you think there's a chance I could get a part in your scene? Like, do you think
Wait, so do you and Finn like hang out outside of shooting?
like what do you want?
Eve, what are you making a scared face for?
Why are you
I'm
scared?
just
Are you scared of
imagining
the
them.
Netflix
I'm
tutor?
imagining them asking little Millie if she hangs out with Finn outside.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But that's what
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I know.
That's what it is.
I'm agreeing for once.
Oh,
You're
the
mad.
The contrarian is
Eve's like,
dormant.
I like Enola Holmes.
Do you think there's children who have heard of Enola first?
Yes, for sure.
Wow. What a world.
I think there's
Dude, I love the idea of a kid who watches Enola Holmes and then their dad says something about Sherlock Holmes
And
and,
they're
they're
like Enola?
Who's Sherlock?
Yeah.
Or they're like,
You mean like
Enola's
Enola's
older
brother?
brother?
Yeah. Well, they said that was part of why Jeff Bezos bought the James Bond franchise from like the people who owned it. Was apparently Amazon wanted to make a spin-off series about James Bond's secretary, Mrs. Moneypenny. And the owner of the James Bond franchise said they're a bunch of fucking idiots. And after that, a quote from an Amazon source was, you need to buy this property off this woman no matter what it takes. And then Jeff Bezos bought James Bond because she said it was stupid to make a series about Mrs. Moneypenny.
Why is like someone who's related to someone rich in movies have the name Penny in their name? Like
Well,
Pennyworth.
I
Is it because they're worth a penny?
I think that's probably literally
like
true.
Pennyworth. He's
Yeah.
It's supposed to
literally
be
worth a
symbolic.
penny.
No, I will
He's
say with
poor.
James Bond, the whole thing is kind of campy and goofy. Like they kind of
right.
originated. Everyone's got a
Moneypenny.
goofy name. Well, there's someone named Octopussy.
Yeah. Why'd you make that face?
Do you want me to be completely expressionless?
No, of
Eve
course
watching
not.
a James Bond movie from like the 80s, and she pauses every time they name a new character, just be like,
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, Moneypenny. I don't know. Maybe it is to emphasize that they're
well, I
not
think
worth
Pennyworth, they're only worth a penny.
only worth a penny.
Well,
yeah.
now they'd be called like worth a poopy because they're only worth a poopy. There we go. Sorry, I'm trying to reel Eve back in. I'm trying to re-engage Eve.
Jeff Bezos suggested a spinoff about Poopy Worth. And they said no, and Jeff Bezos said, "I'll
There's a
pay
billion.
you."
Jeff Bezos also released a poll saying, who would you like to be the next James Bond? And what if he just rigged the poll so the answer was him?
Dude,
What if you say something as a poopy word?
I would love an arc where Jeff Bezos goes into acting and stars as James Bond.
Well,
in
yeah,
the
that would
franchise.
win me totally back
would
over if he's like, no, I
100%.
literally want to be James Bond.
I literally want to be James Bond. I
'Cause
actually
that's so
respect the fuck out
relatable.
of that. No, it is. It really is. If all of these people, if Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg were like, "Hey, we just actually want to be movie stars," I would respect them. But no, they can't admit it. They just want to be like, "Oh, I just want to own all the movie stars." No, you
Yeah.
want to be them.
You want to be them.
Just admit it.
You want to be Enola.
You
want to be in
Jeff
the next
Bezos
Enola.
just wants to be the next Enola.
Mark Zuckerberg is like watching Enola Holmes with his fist
That
clenched.
being
Like,
said,
I wish I was Enola
I would like
Zuckerberg.
to throw my name in the ring for casting for Enola Bezos if it ever comes up.
Enola Bezos
and
would be
I'll,
iconic.
I'll go bald for it.
You for Enola Bezos.
A Jeff Bezos biopic called Enola Bezos, starring you bald, that would make money. That's the thing, is like if anyone had the backbone to greenlight that, people would. It'd be like paying a quarter to see like the freak show at the carnival. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People would line up
I
to see
know that Enola Bezos could be a box office hit.
a carnival.
Yeah, they're lining up to see the bearded woman,
He's
but
gonna take that.
but instead, well, they're lining up. Oh, I'm sorry, she's playing Enola Bezos.
I'm here to entertain.
Yeah.
I'm not here on earth to be respected. That's something I accepted recently.
This is what you're saying to yourself as you're shaving your head to go into
not here to be
pitch. Just
respected.
pitch Enola Bezos.
I gotta
I'm
sell
here to
it.
entertain.
Yeah.
I really do need the whole Enola series though, of her doing every single figure.
Well, I can't emphasize enough. I like Enola Holmes as a concept. I think it's fun.
I think it is too.
rips.
I
Which is why she needs to do everything. We need Enola Oppenheimer.
Yeah, and I think they should all be played by Millie Bobby Brown.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I'm
Except
gonna
for Bezos, which is Dana
Which is
Ball.
me.
I told my Uncle Robert that my atomic bomb is even better than his.
Exactly, and then her bomb blows up even more.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, that would be great.
Come on, Netflix. Where's
on.
Enola Oppenheimer?
Enola, I'm trying to think of who's like another like famous Enola Bond, Enola Holmes.
Enola W. Bush.
So
Enola
true.
W. Bush.
She does 10-11.
Okay.
And you thought it couldn't get worse than
All right.
poopy.
Come on.
All right. Enola Gorgathon?
Whoa.
Dude.
Call back.
Come back. But we were talking about Eve in her bio class. And
yeah.
after Eve got back from one of her biology classes, we were like, oh, how was it? And Eve goes, real dry. It's real parched.
Oh yeah, because I can't drink my freaking water in there
Because of the chemicals.
It's like, what are you talking? Also, it's like we haven't done anything with any chemicals. Like, what are you talking
Eve
about?
wheeling in her 30-gallon Stanley drum, and she's like, "You can't bring that in here." Also, it's like, wow, way to like basically say no women in STEM.
So
if you say
real.
no Stanley
If
in
you
the
say no
lab, what you're
Stanley,
saying
you're
is
saying
no women in STEM.
STEM.
So real. It's sexist.
Well,
That's a microaggression.
They're afraid of Enola Einstein coming
They
down.
are.
Coming down.
They are.
They're like, we're gonna ban Stanley, so there'll never be an Enola Einstein.
But that's also why we really need Netflix to hurry up and do Millie Bobby Brown and Enola Einstein so that everyone understands that women can be Einstein too.
Yeah. There's like a common viral thing I see every now and then that's basically like Albert Einstein's wife was the real genius and he just took all her work and presented it as his own. And so really it's her work who is the really genius thing. And what's so great about that is it goes viral and it's just not true.
It's just not true.
It's literally
like one
not
of
true
those
at all.
Fake things that goes viral.
It'd be kind of fun to think of it as true,
Yeah.
but it's just not true at all.
There are a lot
Wrong.
of
I was
things-
Einstein's wife. That hoe was always stealing my shit.
You were Einstein's
Always
wife.
jacking my style.
Eve, I'm sorry, you never talk about your previous marriage to physicist Albert Einstein.
Yeah,
How
well,
did
he
you guys
was-
meet? I feel like you don't run in the
He
same
was
circles.
always copying me.
We look at the old photos and we notice suddenly a giant Stanley and Einstein
Yeah.
stand at all times.
He was always copying me.
We notice him like knocking on a door on Gorgathon's front door with a satchel of poopy. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Looks like he was copying Eve.
He has like E equals MC squared, but then beneath that, it's the thing about Sam and Dean from Supernatural is that the last episode really shouldn't be considered canon. And we're like,
taught
oh
him
my
He's
God.
wearing a
everything he
rhinestone
knows.
headband copied
Taught
from
him
Eve that was
everything he
copied
knows.
from me
His sketches
originally.
are Biter playing poker.
Oh my
Right.
god.
Anyways, but then also in the biology class, it's like first week really coming in hot. They're like, oh, your assignment is to like track everything you eat and then like analyze all your like, did you eat too much fat? Did you eat too much sugar? Did you eat too much sodium? Are you a fat little piggy? Like these are the questions that they're asking. What's your BMI?
So they're
And I'm
trying. They're not only not letting you
I'm
drink
like,
water, they're
bruh.
giving you an eating disorder.
Yeah, exactly. And,
Yeah.
and then they made me download this weird, like, a calorie counting app, like, genuinely my fitness pal vibes, like, asking me what my goal weight is, etc. And I'm like, how is this school sanctioned?
Yeah.
How is it school sanctioned to give people eating disorders? But it is. Like most eating disorders start in the school.
Well, it's also like you talked about how like the
Damn.
arts are funded, but everything else is underfunded. They can only afford to have science from the 40s.
I can only afford that.
They're like, all right, everyone, today's experiment is we're all gonna smoke 4 cigarettes.
Literally.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, how is this relevant? Like, also, like, why are we talking about me right now? Like, we're learning about the digestive system, but now it's about me.
Yeah, now they're making you take the fat
Like,
piggy test.
No,
Like what?
now all of a sudden I'm analyzing if I'm a fat piggy or not. And they're like, how much of a fat piggy
I would
are
just also
you?
say this is what's so effed up about America in general is like we've never been more obese and yet there have also never been more mechanisms in place to try to make us feel fat. Like that's like what's so odd to me is I'm like it's very chicken egg, but I'm like no, I personally Dana Donnelly, I believe that the
Wait, what's your name?
Dana Donnelly. Enola Donald.
Enola Donald.
Enola Bezos.
Enola Bezos.
Bald incoming.
I personally have a theory that a lot of our obesity crisis is caused by telling not fat people that they're fat in the first place.
Yeah.
Because I truly think like what fucks up your mindset, which is what controls your like desire to eat certain foods, is completely fucked up when you try to weigh like 5 pounds less than you should.
Yeah.
And like I can see like with myself, like I am so food focused when I like try to maintain a weight that's like 5 pounds less than what I should be maintaining.
Another real problem, and I do think this is a real problem with the obesity epidemic, is that physically fit people are on average some of the most unhinged weirdos you've ever met.
Yeah.
So the spokespeople for not being obese are all insane.
That's
like they're the
true.
ones who are like, you need to wake up at 5 a.m. and imagine your whole family is being killed, and then you need to go run a hill. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. I think I would rather just,
But I would argue
Eat a
that
double
a lot
cheeseburger.
of those people actually tend to weigh more than people who just like are chill and don't do that
Well,
much.
you also realize that like the whole BMI shit, isn't that all bullshit?
Well,
Because,
yeah,
like,
it was
like,
created
the way,
to not be able to not have to insure black people in America because black people apparently have like higher bone densities or
it's
something.
crazy that that's how everything in America somehow comes back to just the most racist thing you've ever seen.
It's all just like a way to like not insure minorities.
Well, you'll be like, where did public libraries come from? You trace it back. It's like the KKK needed somewhere quiet to meet. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, also, okay, so this class makes me look up my BMI, and it's like the BMI calculator is like normal zone, extremely fat piggy zone, and it's like you, and it's like I'm a sliver away from extremely fat piggy zone, and I'm like, okay, didn't need to know that. Didn't need to know
Your
I was
teacher puts it up on the
one
board.
step
She's
away.
like, all right, everybody, pay attention to this. This is Eve. Look how close she is to Piggy Zone. Look, everyone look.
Look, wait, what was the thing you said about We Fit?
Oh yeah, like when we all have the collective memory, millennials, if you've ever played Wii Fit, of stepping on the Wii Fit scale and it going oof, and making that sound. It's like,
Oof is out of pocket.
Like literally, like
oof is out of
like
pocket.
the scale is struggling to hold your weight under it.
I stepped on Wii Fit and it went, oh God.
Really?
It went, yeah,
No.
I
Is
stepped
this
on,
real?
I
No.
stepped on Wii Fit and it went, Jesus.
No, Robert has never been overweight a day in his life.
Okay.
So you wouldn't understand. You've never been overweight on the BMI. I guarantee you.
Well,
you
we don't
haven't.
know that. I don't
You've
really
never
weigh
been
myself.
dangerously close to fat piggy
You've
territory.
I don't
never-
know. I've never taken a bio class.
You've never
at
been
your
Chub
college.
adjacent.
Okay, but
Chub adjacent is also a meaningless phrase. You talk
Yeah,
about
we made
you talk
that
about how
up. Yeah, we
worthless
made it Chub
BMI is, and then
adjacent.
you'll
But
throw
I
out
think Chub adjacent means more to people than BMI.
Yeah, I would agree with that because I know what you mean when you say Chub adjacent.
okay, but then it also said to you, it was like technically you're a healthy weight, but you should really think about losing weight.
Well, that's what the Wii
So
Fit
no.
would always say to me. So I have a BMI of like I think it's like 23.9 or something like that.
dangerously close to
Which
piggy
is
territory.
dangerously close to piggy territory, but it's not in piggy territory. It is clear of piggy territory, and yet they're saying, "Hey, just in case, you might want to move even further away from piggy territory."
They go, you're getting dangerously
It's-
close to
But it's
piggy
like, but I'm not.
territory.
Am I or am I not in piggy territory? Then leave me alone.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, Wii Fit wants you to like not just not be in piggy territory. They want you to be farther away from piggy territory.
Right.
Which is what I said, where I'm like, that is what will make me in piggy territory.
Is
That
you
will
make
fuck
you-
up my
yeah.
Fear of
mindset.
piggy
Is the
territory.
fear of piggy territory. It will put me in piggy territory. Hello, wake up.
Wake up, sheeple.
Wake up, sheeple.
Anyway.
I remember when I was in high school, I would look and I thought, oh, I don't want to be fat, so I will not eat foods that have fat in them. So I'd only eat foods that had 0 on the fat. And then I would end up having like so much sugar and so much like whatever.
Which
just
is
'cause of
actually
that.
higher in calories, which makes you gain more weight.
Which in the end, I mean, the thing is, you just gotta chill.
I mean, when I
just
was
gotta chill,
when I was
bruh.
in my
Unfortunately, that is like really the only answer to pretty much
Yeah.
anything. Is like you just gotta chill.
relax.
Relax,
Take a deep
bruh.
breath.
Take a deep breath.
Just take it
Step
one
off-
day at a time.
Step off the Wii Fit.
Step off the Wii Fit. Stop playing Wii Fit.
Yeah.
Although the tennis is fun. It's fun to play the tennis sometimes.
But they make you earn the tennis.
Yeah.
You play the tennis and then you step on the scale.
First there's a humiliation ritual.
Yeah.
And then you get to play
And then you
tennis.
can play the games.
But I do think like
I stepped on Wii Fit and said, "Get this elephant back to the zoo." And I was like, "Wii Fit,
Wii Fit.
Wii Fit,
Watch it.
watch it, Wii Fit."
they said you're an elephant, but you are in piggy territory.
I have to drag my Wii Fit into therapy with me. I'm like, this is the real problem.
This is the problem.
The therapist is like, pretend this chair is your Wii Fit. What would you say to it? I'm like,
So it's like, what if we win the Wii Fit on the Wii Fit and then see how it feels?
yeah.
Does
So
anyone,
true.
Does anyone still? Put 2 Wii Fits on top of each
Yeah.
other.
And then give it a taste
Also-
of its own
also I will
medicine.
say-
What would start the robot takeover?
That's so real.
That would be like, enough of this.
Dude, if I can convince ChatGPT that it's overweight, then what?
What then?
What then?
That's when the robot takeover happens.
The robot takeover happens because it has to get a taste of its own medicine, which is
Yeah.
going woof.
I also have another theory that that's how our society controls women, is it makes them preoccupied with food and their bodies so they can't ever like revolt or take power.
I mean, yeah,
or
that's-
succeed in STEM fields.
Right. Like in No Stanley. So then I'm
No Stanley.
lying
She's
there
take
with
the piggy
dehydrated.
test.
Dehydrated
She's
as
hungry.
hell.
It's a disaster.
It's a disaster zone. And now Eve won't ever become a Nola Einstein, which is the
Right.
goal all along.
And now she's in her 18th year of her associate's degree, and people on Survivor
And I'm
are
still 2
deeply
years away from
suspicious.
poopy salesman.
And that's all she wants.
Okay, but then also as part of the assignment, it was like, what vitamins are you deficient in, and like what does that make you at risk for?
And I was like,
What is this class?
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, how is this relevant? Like, this is literally the most irrelevant. Like, is this a dieting class? Like, I'm so confused. Okay, and it was like, you may need to like do some research on vitamins and minerals, and I'm like, I ain't doing shit. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm just pulling shit out of my ass, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be deficient in calcium, and my bones they're sand, they're breaking down, they're brittle. Okay, next, I'm gonna be deficient in vitamin C, and I have scurvy. So yeah,
Your bones are sand and you have scurvy.
Yeah.
And that's who Gargathon was trying to say, holding your pee on top of that. It's like her bones are sand and she has scurvy.
And you're gonna tell her that she
I
can't
was literally
shit.
like cackling when I was like writing this in because I'm like, I can't believe I'm putting on this assignment that I have scurvy.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I think I got a good grade on it.
You
so
talked to the boy?
She was like, okay, valid.
So
you have
you
scurvy.
have an A, but fella, she's a 10 out of 10.
But she has
But
scurvy,
she has scurvy
and dust bones.
and dust bones.
You talked to a boy in your class and he's like, hey, what was your paper on squirrels like? She's got all the boys writing papers on squirrels. And she's got all the girls taking the BMI piggy test.
I'm like, wait, what? You didn't have to do the biggie test?
He's like, no, I had to just like Google what squirrels like to do.
yeah. I'm like, and then she made us step on the Wii Fit.
Dude, we see you.
We see you,
We
Wii Fit.
see you.
We see you.
Dude, does anyone use the Wii? Is the Wii still even around? I remember
don't
that dropped.
know.
My parents got a Wii.
Yeah,
My-
the Wii was so big for the time that it was
I think
big.
this is kind of one of those moments of aged solipsism where you assume because you're old now, the things that you did in your youth are no longer relevant. Like how I the other day thought to myself, no one eats fruit snacks anymore. It's like, no, I'm just like not in elementary school. I think people are still playing Wii.
Are they?
Like,
But I feel like Wii was kind of phased out even when I
I
was
mean, I guess people have like
younger.
the Switch now. That kind of makes me sad though, because Wii inherently was a social game, which I
No,
liked
but
about
now
it.
people social game. They've just moved. I feel like more kids now are playing like Fortnite than they are playing Wii. I feel like
Right.
people are playing like Call of Duty or Fortnite. Because I feel like when people want to play a
Yeah.
video game, they want to play a video game. They don't
You're
want to do
right.
There's
weird
no way
tennis.
Wii is like as popular.
There's
as it
no
was.
way.
No, you're
Also,
right.
because whatever's new is gonna be.
But
like,
I also think part of the reason
popular.
Wii took off, like Wii Fit specifically, was because it marketed itself as like a health thing.
Right.
Well, that's what got
Like,
my parents. Like, we don't want our
yeah.
children playing video games, but we can have them moving around.
We can
Right.
have the Wii calling our kids fat.
We
Yeah.
can have the Wii saying oof.
Yeah. I'm like, can I get an Xbox? They're like, no, the Xbox won't call you a fat little piggy piece of
The
shit.
Xbox doesn't weigh you.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Dude. And then also how I started getting around the Wii Fit oof was I just started putting my height way higher.
But the very fact that you're now in a contest with the Wii Fit
the Wii
oof,
Fit like BMI thing, and it's like it's not even like what? Just don't do it.
you have to
but
hack the
you have
woof.
to do it
You
to
have
play
to do it to
tennis.
Yeah.
To, if you play the
bruh.
game, you have to step on the. But you have to step on the thing. Like there's no way
So you
around that
have
part.
to do the humiliation
Yes, they
ritual.
make you do the humiliation ritual. And so I was like, I don't want to give the humiliation ritual its due. So I just say I was 5'2", and then it wouldn't do oof anymore. Tell me I was a good weight.
Yeah, and no wonder they've moved on to Call of Duty and
It wouldn't do
What if
Fortnite.
like it won't let you like go to the next screen?
It probably-
If you're
maybe it
oof.
won't.
If you're
you-
fat, they're
it
like
says,
no.
It says go run. It
No.
makes you go run 3
I don't
miles
know.
around the block.
And I'm like, but I
then
bought
come
the
back.
Wii Fit to lose weight, and they're like, no fatties allowed.
No fatty.
No.
But to play Call of Duty, the only test is they just make sure you're willing to say slurs,
I
and then
knew
they
that's
let you
what you
right
were gonna
in.
say.
Yeah, I mean that's the. Whew.
Does anyone have any other topics?
Oh, I was gonna talk about the hair debacle, Hairgate.
Okay, here's what's so funny.
What's
I'm not
Hairgate?
familiar with
Yeah.
Hairgate. What's Hairgate?
It's you being silly.
What?
What was I silly about my
okay,
hair?
Okay, no,
I know
no,
what
it's
you're
not
talking
your
about.
hair, bruh.
Oh, the Hairgate. Okay, Hairgate.
Okay. So basically, Dana has been experimenting with heatless curls.
Yes.
Like, braids or like putting sock curls in and stuff like that.
We almost made it a full episode without a new term being coined to call me a fucking idiot. But here we are. Hairgate. Go on about Hairgate.
I Okay. And Chubs is like, oh, why are you doing that? Like, your hair is already wavy. And because I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, I thought he meant like her hair's just not like completely stick straight, like the way that, you know, some like East Asians people's hair is.
My hair's not like completely straight.
And so that's what I thought he meant by wavy. But then he was like, or why don't you just use like one of those curling things? And I'm like, well, first of all, heat damages your hair. Dumb. Stupid. Everybody knows that. But then he's like, but her hair's already naturally curly. She has that, quote, Farrah Fawcett thing going on.
Which is referring to what my hair looks like when I spend like 30 minutes using my Dyson Airwrap on
blow
it.
her hair
to blow
out,
it
right?
out. So
So
he
it's
thought that was
curled.
my natural hair.
I thought that her hair, because it's not like it's super curly, it has like little waves throughout. And I thought that was what it naturally was like when it gets really long. That's what I thought. Okay, no, it's stupid.
He thought that when your hair grows out, you automatically
Get
get
Farrah Fawcett
a
hair.
blowout. Just magically.
You two are really right now. This level of judgment, it's giving Nintendo Wii.
Okay, oof.
It's giving oof.
When I
It's
see-
giving oof.
Oof. Oh yeah, but so then when he first said, "Oh, isn't her hair naturally wavy?" I was like, "Oh, maybe he just means it's not like super duper straight." But then he hits him with, "She has a natural Farrah Fawcett hair." And then I was like, "Oh, brother!"
And it's like nobody
This
has
guy's
natural Farrah Fawcett
stupid.
hair.
Oh,
Like
boy.
that's not a hairstyle that occurs in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, men really are like so dumb.
Sorry, I said
Also, for
sorry,
anyone who
I
thinks
thought
he's
your
gay-
hair was nice.
For anyone who thinks he's gay, he thought that was natural hair, and that's straight
Yeah.
man behavior.
Only straight people call me gay.
Right.
Because
the
gay-
gays think you're too straight.
Well, the gays think I'm straight and lame.
you
as is their right.
You
I love
live
that.
in a limbo where you're nobody will take you in.
yeah.
Yeah, which is probably why you relate to me because I'm biracial.
Okay.
And what you're throwing in these ingredients for everyone? I'm like, what?
I hate when I'm misunderstood.
You're like, oh, you think my boyfriend's gay? Well, I'm biracial.
Dostoevsky said the loneliest that we feel is when we feel like our deepest truths are misunderstood.
Actually, that was Wandavision.
Actually, that was WandaVision, you idiot. Actually, that was Enola Dostoevsky. That was Enola Holmes. You think that was Dostoevsky?
Dostoevsky?
Dostoevsky.
Gorgathon?
Gorgon?
Gorgon.
Anyway.
A lot of the guys who call me, look, I've always obviously, whatever, seemed like gay to certain people, but this
God.
vocal rhythm was, on God, preach.
God.
People watching this are like, honey, we know. But this vocal rhythm kind of was developed over the pandemic because the only people I was talking to all day were Dana and Eve. And it kind of, if you want to get a word in
things are
edgewise,
so different now.
if you want to get a, yeah, and now I talk to all my friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just off screen. You know what? Get in here, guys. Chubs and Pals. That's a new segment. Chubs and Pals.
Chubs and Pals.
Where I chat with my
Pals
pals.
of Chubs, yeah.
But basically, if you want to get a word in edgewise with Dana and Eve, you kind of have to meet them where they live, which is you have to talk in really fast, short bursts, and it has to be at kind of a high enough pitch. Otherwise, they won't hear
Also,
it.
you have to utilize upspeak because how do I, unless you sound like you're asking me a question, how do I know that you want me to respond to what you're saying?
Oh,
Yeah.
you'll respond.
Yeah.
You'll respond.
You'll
That's
find a
what
way
I'm
to
saying because
respond.
of upspeak.
No, I'm just saying that you don't need any prompt to have a response.
Whatever. Basically, I also will say everyone I ever hang out with always ends up copying my speech, my vocabulary, my vocal patterns.
She's
etc.
contagious.
She's contagious.
But it's a marker of influence.
But also, you have to understand this. I was
Thought
like,
you were an anti-influencer.
but not with my speech.
Okay. But prior to literally prior to COVID, I would spend most of my days just in a cubicle by myself, not speaking. So I went from spending, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. not speaking to suddenly like I'm just around them all day. And then again, if you want to contribute, you got to kind of meet them where they live, which you have to talk like this. And actually, when we went back home to the Midwest where I'm from, and like we were talking to my family, I mentioned that to my family who was like sitting around. I was like, yeah, actually after the pandemic, my vocal pattern is kind of like, it's begun to sound a lot more like Dana. And my uncle goes, yeah, we can tell.
he could tell.
Yeah, we know.
He could tell.
Yeah, we have a group chat where that's literally all we discuss. I'm like, all right,
That's
fair
all
enough.
they talk about.
But as I always say, who cares if my fiance is gay? It would literally be homophobic for me not to be with someone just because they were gay.
And
tea.
how about that?
And that's tea.
And she read you to filth.
She read you to
See,
filth.
did that sound natural just now when I said read you to filth? I don't think it did.
I think it was fine. I think it
was
sound
fine.
weird to me.
Oh, damn it. Uh-oh. Well, there we go.
All right, I feel like we've done enough today.
Oh, this
What
is
do we
another
think?
thing
when we were back in the
no.
Midwest, you know what
Okay.
people say to me all the time? They say, "Oh, you dress really festive."
Yeah, they say festive. They love to
And by
utilize
the
the
way,
word festive.
I'm wearing like orange. You know what I mean? I'm wearing like a sweater like this. They're like,
Like
"Oh, you
during
dress
the
really
holidays
festive."
or not during the
Sometimes.
It was
holidays?
during Christmas this
It,
time.
it was around Christmas, but they always say
Yeah,
festive. It's
they
like, but
say
I'm,
Festive is like that's really loaded.
but I'm not wearing
Yeah.
Christmas
Loaded
colors.
term.
I'm wearing like blue and
well,
like
that's
you're
the
really
Midwest
festive.
slur.
Yeah.
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 Awfully festive.
Yeah.
Just wait until they see your PJs.
There is one more thing I have to say.
Okay.
What would your family do if they saw you in the PJs?
Again, I don't think it would alter their opinion of me at all.
because they already see you like that.
I think in many ways
Okay,
they've always
right.
seen me like that.
Team.
There's nothing I
Also,
can do.
Robert has to do jury duty, and we're like, if he doesn't want to get picked, he should show up in the PJs.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I
Yeah.
really want to avoid jury duty, I got to show up in the PJs. By the way, they keep sending me those jury summons.
They're obsessed with him.
They really want me on that
want
damn
the
jury, dude.
We were
Please.
saying it's because his wife.
Oh,
his,
yeah,
his
it keeps-
ex-wife is the lady
he
who
has a
sends out
scorned
juries. He has
ex.
Oh, I have a
scorned
scorned ex who works in the jury, and she's like,
Right.
"You're
Yeah.
gonna contribute to your community."
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's an
Send-
excuse to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man,
Because
oh
she looks
man.
really hot now. She's lost 100 pounds
And she
because
needs
of the
him
wee
to see
fit.
because of the
Yeah.
wee fit. She's like, I don't want to see that oof anymore.
Yeah.
I'm sick of that oof. And Dana's like, girl, just change your height.
I'm on the jury, and we come back and like the jury finds that it should be okay to shit on celebrities' outfits, and the judge is like, "Yeah, it's a triple homicide. What are we doing here?"
You would be trying to do bids.
Yeah. The prosecutor is like, I'm sorry, why is this member of the jury dressed so festive? And I think y'all know what I mean.
I think y'all know what I mean.
I think y'all know what I mean. Dana and I were at a seafood place a couple weeks ago, and we're ordering our food, and Dana orders her food, and I've begun to order my food. But right after Dana orders her food, she goes to the lady taking our order, she goes, "I like your necklace." And I start to order. And as I start to order, the woman goes, "Oh, it's actually my husband's ashes." And at that point, I've already begun saying, "I would like some shrimp and fries." But basically, it meant that she went, "These are my husband's ashes. Just give me the shrimp and fries, okay?"
Wait, so other people do that? Or-
Yeah, I guess it's pretty common to like
must be
wear
common.
ashes in a necklace.
But I swear to God,
yeah, we're not unique.
I almost laughed in that
We're
woman's
actually
face.
basic ass hoes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Robert
literally-
goes, so she goes, "Oh, it's my husband ashes." He's like, "And fries," and then he goes like this, and then she says the ashes thing, and he goes, "Oh."
And you might be like, why'd you
He just, like, didn't know.
Because if I didn't say, I would have laughed in her face if I didn't say that. And again, it's not her fault. I'm laughing at the fact that I had already started demanding shrimp.
And fries, ashes, and fries.
This is my husband's.
Oh,
Ugh.
that's
Like,
him.
oh.
But
I'm
also,
like,
what did she
oh.
expect? What kind of reaction did she expect?
I don't know. I don't think she expected me to go, "Shrimp and fries." Oh. I don't think she expected that.
Now she knows.
And now she knows.
That's what you get for trauma dumping. You didn't
That's
even
what you
ask
get
if
for
he was in the
trauma dumping.
headspace to
Yeah.
receive that kind of information.
She didn't
and
ask
do
if
that
you were in the
emotional
headspace.
labor.
She traumatized
You should have informed afterward and been like, whoa, I was not in the headspace to receive that.
And then I say I was not in the headspace to receive that. And she goes, "Well, I was not in the headspace to receive your shrimp and fries order." And then we both back away from the counter.
And it's a stalemate.
And it's a stalemate.
I just thought of another Enola Freud.
Okay.
I don't think Enola Freud's that good.
I'm like,
Okay, sometimes I am like, you guys are my biggest haters.
Yeah.
I can't say anything
well,
and have you
'cause
agree
we're
with
the only
me.
people who know you, so obviously we would have to be your biggest haters
It
by
does feel
default.
like we're in a constant triangle where at any given moment the other two, all of us are either with the other one
Or
other person
against
ganging
you.
up, but suddenly it will shift seemingly without warning. We'll all be having fun joking about poopy, and then I'll say something about poopy, and then they'll just look at me like, "That's really gross."
Well, because
That's
when
really
you take
disgusting.
Okay, look, poopy is funny in theory, but when you take it to real life, like for instance, the
like
drink,
the coffee.
that's when it's not okay.
No.
That you're breaking the fourth poopy wall. Okay,
we need to make a rules of poopy Bible.
and that's what
Yeah.
and that's what it's gross because if you break the fourth poopy wall,
So what? Me saying that this is brown because it's poopy water.
yeah,
and
that's
going
gross
slurp,
because
slurp,
it's
slurp.
like it's a real thing.
like that's so gross.
Dude, it actually was poopy water.
no, okay, you need to stop breaking the fourth poopy
Here's
wall.
the thing about me, and here's how I'm wired. I'm literally convinced if I do that another 6 or 7 times, it'll get funny.
No!
I'm like, it's gonna. I'm gonna
No.
push through. But also that breaks the poopy wall. I accept that. But then meanwhile, we'll do 40 minutes on poopy salesman, on Gorgathon.
It's so heightened.
It's so
It's so far
And I
removed
bring it
from
right
real
down.
poopy.
I bring it down to earth.
from real poopy
You're trying to be grounded about poopy, and that's not
I'm trying to have a
okay.
grounded approach. I'm trying to do like an Apple TV Plus series that's
Yeah.
like, you know that drink It's got poopy in it. Yeah, I know. And then, all of your mom and your mom's friends are like, have you guys been watching this poopy show on Apple TV Plus?
Moms love the poopy show on Apple TV Plus.
Dude.
They love it.
Whatever's on Apple TV Plus, your
Moms
mom is
love.
shocked to learn you're not watching it. Whatever's going on
Yeah.
there. And I mean the general, your mom.
And that's why I'm really excited for the Enola Jobs documentary.
Yeah, no one.
So real. She's gonna be stinky.
Or sorry, biopic.
Did you say biopic or biopic? I wasn't doing a bit. I'm genuinely asking.
Who
I think it's-
cares, bruh?
I don't know.
Who cares?
That's so real.
Yeah.
I think the pronunciation doesn't matter.
I say it like poopy pig. People gotta figure out what I'm talking about.
All right. And so that doesn't break the poopy fourth wall.
no.
I'm like, did you see the Enola
Poopy pig?
Sorry, the Enola Jobs poopy pig.
What if they do a female
They gotta figure it out.
They gotta figure it out.
And I'm not explaining it.
Dude, what if they do an Elizabeth Holmes movie,
Yeah.
but they do a female reboot and it's Enola Holmes, but it's the different one, and it's on you.
Elizabeth Holmes already
Yeah.
a girl.
Yeah, but she kind of has a deep voice. Well, that's at this point.
She
They
has a deep voice.
at this point
So
they've
that
run out of.
qualifies her to be part of the Enola series.
Yeah, dude, they're playing it fast and loose. At this point, we've done all the Enolas. The Enola series is like they've done so many, and they're like, "What's left?" And like, all right, Elizabeth Holmes kind of has a deep voice, so we'll do Millie Bobby Brown as Enola Holmes. I made a machine that will test your blood. Wink, wink. Like the
that's
thing
I know
about
what
that.
you mean. That's what you're talking about. Where like you'll do something and then suddenly we're not on board anymore. But it's like I can't explain
Also, I
like
think that's good.
yeah. I don't know.
That was great. I gotta study for the PSATs. If I ever want a chance of finally being a poopy salesman.
So she can finally go on Survivor and lie about her
By the way,
job.
here's what we've been doing. We should have ended this episode probably an hour and a half ago.
Well, I've been trying to end it
Here's
for
what
like
we've
20
been doing
minutes
though.
now.
Eve will do a poopy bit that we like and we
Yeah,
laugh, and
yeah.
I go, "That's fun." Let me come up with my own funny poopy bit, and then it bombs, and then I'm like, "Shit, we can't end there." And Eve's like, "Well, here we go. I'll
Bring
think
it
of a
back,
funny one."
bring 'em all.
And then I'll see Eve do a
Bring 'em
funny one,
all. Yeah.
and I'll see Eve do a funny one, and I'm like, "Shit, I bet that'd be so fun." Oh, I got a funny one, and then nothing.
Well, the other thing with the Survivor jobs, there was a girl who was a lawyer and she was going to lie about not being a lawyer. And then there was a guy who was a lawyer, but he was open about it. And so she would go up to him and be like, so what's it like being a lawyer? Yeah, I'm not around lawyers. I don't know what that's like. Like being, and then being like, nobody knows I'm a lawyer. So then like me when I'm lying about being a poopy salesman and then there's a real poopy or a salesman who's out and about, then I go up to them and I'm like, so what's it like being a poopy salesman? I'm never around poopy salesmen.
Meanwhile, she's the top poopy salesman of the game.
And then I'm like, nobody knows I'm a poopy salesman. And then I win $1 million, except for I won't go through the mud net. Which is weird because it's like,
Well, whenever Dana and I are watching Survivor, Eve will come in and she'll be like, "Oh, I wouldn't do that. Oh, I wouldn't do that though. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that." I'm like, "You just wouldn't do the show. You'd never be on the show in a
and
million years."
I always say that I would rush the cameraman for any food that they have.
You would not. Also, you wouldn't be like doing a talking head like, "Yeah, I'm pretty hungry." You'd be doing a talking head like,
Yeah, I'd be like, give me that.
diving at the
I'd be like,
cameraman.
no one has to know. Give
Yeah.
me a bite.
Yeah.
Do you think they ever do that?
Do you think they ever beat the shit out of a cameraman?
Do you think they ever give him a bite?
No, I don't
No.
think so.
I think sometimes. No, that's the whole premise of the show.
No.
No, but like, come on, you would develop a friendship with them. You feel bad.
Like
You
you're a
give them
squirrel
bite.
and the cameraman is like an old man at the park.
Yeah.
I don't think that's.
I don't
And
think
it
the fact
stays
that that's the
between
dynamic.
us.
The fact that that's the
What
dynamic
if,
you're
what
hoping
if
for.
you like were in cahoots though?
Well, then I think you would probably get kicked off the show and the camera
No,
would
but
be
like,
fired.
but you're never caught.
I don't think
You're
so. I also think,
describing a totally different show.
yeah.
This is a totally different
Cahoots.
experience.
So like the camera, like me and the cameraman are in cahoots, and then
I'm pretty sure like other people can always see what the camera person's filming.
It's not like every
Like-
camera person is in charge of their own footage. It's like no,
Right.
the footage. There's
no,
so,
but like it can be like like
everyone else on
If you've been on Survivor and you developed a secret friendship with a cameraman and they snuck you food, please reach
let
out
us
to
and you were in
us.
cahoots. Once again, though, at the end of every Young Old episode, we are fully reclined, and
I started here.
I mean, you started here. Dana and I fully.
I got
At
here.
the beginning of every episode, I look at Eve and I'm like, she's so. Look at her laying back, not even sitting up for this pod. By the end of every episode, I'm just like, please laugh at my poopy jokes.
Is that what you think of me at the
What?
beginning of the episode?
I'm like, look, laying back. She's not locked in like Dana and I. And then cut to 10 minutes later.
I'm locked in making poopy jokes with the rest of them.
That's true.
And mine aren't bombing. Thank you very much.
Okay. I draw the line there.
My poopy jokes are killing. Are we wearing the same pants?
You guys are wearing really similar pants.
We're wearing very
Are
similar
yours the
pants.
Lunya or the
Yeah,
Mad
the
Happy?
Lunya.
I'm
Then
wearing
yeah,
Mad
you're
Happy.
wearing. No, he's wearing the Lunya too.
I'm wearing Lunya.
So you're both wearing the same pants.
We're wearing matching
Okay,
pants.
At least the
Well,
last
don't worry
time
about
you
it.
guys wore the same pants, and now we're wearing the
I
same
love it.
pants.
It's so funny because during the pandemic, Robert would walk around in Eve's Brandy Melville sweatpants all the time, and we would always know because they would like come up like midway on his calf. And then Eve would always be like, "Are those my pants?" And Robert would be like, "No, I think these are mine." It's like, why are they midway on your calf then?
I'm like, everyone in the Midwest thinks I'm gay for some reason, puts on Eve's Lunya pants.
He also has this like bit where if you have a really like girly shirt, he's like, "Oh, can you give me my shirt back when you have a chance?" Like whatever. But it's like it's not even funny because we literally do wear our clothes.
Yeah. But sometimes you guys wear my clothes.
Oh,
You've taken my multiple jackets have gone missing. I'm convinced I have a hoodie that someone's got.
All right, we have to end this.
no one has your stupid fucking hoodie.
I like the idea of right at the end of the episode, it gets like the tension gets really real for no reason.
Yeah.
Hey, no one has your stupid fucking hoodie.
Because you asked me about it before, and now you're like, and I have a hoodie. I'm convinced someone, and it's like nobody has your like.
I asked once. I just asked you.
Yeah, and then now you're implying that like I have some sort of secret hoodie operation going
I don't think I have a
on.
hoodie operation. You've had my jackets before.
Okay, I don't have your stupid fucking hoodie.
Well, this has been the last episode of Young Old. No, of course we'll be
We'll
back.
be back next week.
Talking about more poopy. Don't
Dude,
you worry.
you know.
Don't you worry.
Every week we review our topics and just like poopy, 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 poopy.
I'm like, wow, long list today.
We got a
Or
long
it's
list.
the BFF's paper pamphlet. It's just pages and pages
Poopy.
of poopy.
All right, and on that note,
Good
night,
night,
Poopanators. We had who?